folks, it's 5:30. We're going to call this meeting of the commission to order. Let's begin with the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, can we have a roll call here? John, you want to do the honors here?
Yes, sir. Mr. Didak.
Here.
Mr. Classen. Mr. Algieri.
Here.
Mr. Shaw. Here. Ms. Shaw. Here. Mr. Wojtek.
Here?
Mr. Zona. Here. Mr. Enos. Here. Ms. Huff. Here. Mr. Kruger. Here. Marcia. Here. And Suba. Here. Thank you.
Okay, let the record show we have a quorum. First item on the agenda is a public hearing. We're going to begin with the public hearing today on the report that was approved at the July 21st special meeting. Before we get into the public comments and questions and interaction, I just want to say that I know there was some delays in getting our advertisements out there. That we had a little change in our situation here, and so we decided that we're also going to have a second public hearing at our August 25th meeting. We will have a duly advertised and everything, but that'll give everybody a chance. We want to make sure the public has a chance to voice their opinion and their thoughts and about the report. And we felt that because of the short timeline on the ads for this one, that would be a good step to take. So later in the agenda, we'll have an authorization to have that meeting and have the advertisement for it, but I just wanted to let the public know that we intend to do that. So with that, we will open up the public hearing portion of this meeting. If anybody has any questions or comments about the report, feel free to come up and address the commission, and we'll go from there. We have a 3-minute. I'll watch it, but we're not gonna. If it's 3.5 or 4 minutes, we're not gonna run anybody out of town. So, if there's anybody for the public hearing. Mr. Servideo?
Jerry Svideo. Well, I guess I've been behind times because I hadn't looked at the Mill Creek webpage, so I didn't see this. But you want to take public comment on this. How are you going to do that if you haven't seen it until today? I mean, I understand, for the people that are here and have read it. I just started to read it.
Yeah,
So-
it's, and I appreciate that, Jerry. And that's why I know it was kind of a rush thing there at getting the ad in and everything. We did have, we did have the thing approved on the 21st. It was filed with the elections on the 24th, I believe, because I was out of town. I had to sign it. I believe John and Cheryl Williams took it down, and it was filed properly. We thought that would give people a chance to see that and review it before today's meeting, but I also understand the advertisement of the public hearing portion of today's meeting was a little bit, because we had some changes here, maybe it wasn't as much as we would hope for. So that's why we're going to have another one.
All right,
on the
well, you were going to file it on the 28th. If you would have held the meeting on July 28th, maybe you would have had the final report out then I would have
Yeah.
read it ahead of time.
Yeah, we
It's
just filed
just
it
a
on the 24th.
comment, just a comment. I'm not up here to argue yet. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Anybody else during the public hearing portion of this meeting?
Yes, I'll come up.
Okay. Thanks, Candy.
I did get a copy. I went to Kim Copy, and it was like $7, but worth it because I like to be able to study it and highlight it. I found it amazing that 2 times in here, it is, my name's Candy Horn, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
It is mentioned that you unanimously recommended the council management form of government. You do not get unanimous very often. And I look at you, and I know all of you probably are not of the same persuasion in your politics, and to be able to work together and come to the same decision tells me that you have the heart of Mill Creek. You know, the people of Mill Creek are important, and this township is important. I had a couple of questions. It
Yeah.
says, under the council form of government, council is prohibited from involving itself in the daily affairs of the departments. That's on page 17. And then when you go to page 18, it says this form of government gives the residents access to a council member more quickly with issues of concern or feedback on pending matters. So wouldn't you be contacting a council member on, you know, affairs of the different departments?
Yeah, that's a good question, Candy. In the manager-council form of government, you would have access to those council people, and anybody else can chime in as well. But that person would then go through the manager
Okay.
to take care of things. They wouldn't be involved in the day-to-day decision-making of the operations of the township under that form of government. The manager would. So if you did have a question and you wanted to go talk to your council person, and they said, well, let me find out for you, they wouldn't go to the employee, they'd go to the manager, who would then handle it, who handles the day-to-day operations.
Okay,
And anybody else have anything that want to add to that?
Well, just one of the townships I recall that we interviewed actually had
You can have this.
Is it on?
Thanks. One of the townships that we met with actually had a customer service department of a couple of people. So they tried to get every call replied to within 24 hours. So that's what we're thinking about here, is that you have a township manager and maybe an assistant manager or an administrative assistant, and that's the day-to-day operations. That's where all concerns would be funneled, whether it's through a phone line or a council person, but that comes to one office and one person, and that's the township manager.
okay. My other comment, it's on page 43 of 55 for those of you that have it. It says, and this is the very last paragraph, the 2023 audit wasn't issued until December 16th of 2024 and presented to the Board of Supervisors on January 28th, 2025. And I had brought this up at several meetings, that this is, and what you say is, a trend like this is a sign of internal inefficiencies, financial concerns, or broader organizational issues. And I had brought up before about the balances. Right here.
Thank you.
About the balances in the accounts. The general fund was eviscerated from, I think it was 34 or 35 million down to 18 million in a matter of 3 years, with the fiasco of purchasing property on 8th Street for a quote, Presque Isle Gateway. And then, oh, my time's almost up. Oh, okay. Well, so what I'm looking at is the form of government we have now is supposed to be run financially efficient, and we're not very efficient financially. And then there was one other thing. The 2023 audit report, which wasn't issued until December of 2024, reported, and this is on page 44 of 55, and it's the second paragraph, reported 3 material weaknesses in the system of internal control, blah, 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 blah. To add some perspective to this, for public companies, a material weakness is a very serious issue, as it could result in significant fines, regulatory consequences, and even prison for executives if they knowingly certify false financial statements. At the very least, it will result in a loss of investor confidence and reputational harm. So I wanted to bring that up, and I guess my time is up, so I'll let you go. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public hearing? If not, pardon me? There'll be public comments later. This is a public hearing on the report, only on the report. Anybody else? Okay. If not, we will close this portion of the public hearing and move on the agenda to the next item. Is there any public comments on the, we'll have public comments later. Any public comments on the agenda is now. Any public comments on the agenda? We'll have public comments later.
This agenda doesn't match exactly, because I see resignation of Cheryl Wiggins. What, did she resign? Why did she resign?
Yes, she did resign.
She was done, or did she just resign?
She resigned
For personal reasons?
for a few reasons, yes. Okay, any public comments on the agenda items other than that? Okay, then we'll move on to item 6, approval of the minutes from the July 14th regular meeting, as well as the July 21st special meeting. Did the commission have a chance to review the 21st, I'm sorry, the 14th? Yes. Is there any questions, or, well, could we have a motion for approval of those minutes?
I'll motion.
Motion by Jim, second by Bill. Any questions? If not, John, I'm going to look to you for the roll call.
Okay. Mr. Dedat?
Yes.
Mr. DePlacido, yes. Mr. Algieri?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes?
Mr. Zoni?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion carries. Okay, then the minutes from the July 21st, everybody had a chance to review them. Is there a motion that we can have the minutes of the special meeting from July 21st approved?
I'll make that motion to approve July 21st minutes.
Moved by Donna,
I'll second.
second by Art. Any questions or comments from the commission? If not, one more time, John.
Okay. Mr. Dedat?
Yes.
Mr. DePlacido, yes. Mr. Algieri?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Whitehead?
Yes.
Mr. Zoni?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, then the next item on the agenda is approval of the bills. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Dedad.
Thanks, Paul. We have several bills to approve this evening, and I'll detail them. We have the recording secretary fees of $583.33, and then there's some copy fees to the township of $2.64. We also have WQLN monthly charges, and these bills I just received last week, and they're for the month of May and June. May is $318.75, June is $300. And then we have our website monthly fee for maintenance of $412.34. And all of those are expected and reasonable, and that's WorkBot, yeah, on that last one. So I entertain a motion to approve those.
Motion by Bill,
I'll second.
second by John. Any questions from the commission? If not, John, you're on the hot seat again.
Mr. Dedat?
Yes.
Mr. DePlacido, yes. Mr. Algieri?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Whitehead?
Yes.
Mr. Zoni?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thanks, Jim. And then we'll move on to item 8, committee reports. And Jim, We'll start with the budget report.
Sure.
Budget committee?
Yeah, there was no meeting, so nothing to report there. I just also like to update everyone on where we stand with our budget for the year. And prior to the approval of today's bills, we had a balance of $30,294. And so obviously that will go down some, but we look like we're on target. As of now, it looks like we'll have remaining funds at the end of our commission of around $1,800, but obviously that can change.
Thanks, Jim. Any questions for Jim on the committee? Okay, if not, thank you. Next is the local government structure. I'll wait till, John, you're writing.
I'll be writing.
Okay.
Well, short and sweet here. There is no meeting, nothing to report this month.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, we'll move on then. The next committee is the Public Outreach, Public Relations, Public Education, Promotions, and IT. Art Jerry.
Does this work?
Test. It's working. It helps when you turn the switch on. Yes, the public outreach did have a meeting. The first item was the update from the IT team. Kim and Doug have done a phenomenal job with our website and our Facebook page. We want to make sure all residents and voters know that you go to millcreekgovstudy.com or Mill Creek Government Study Commission on Facebook. Everything and all the information that you need to know is there. Next item was our budget update. We're following the guidelines set out back in January. We're on target. Based on those January guidelines, we hope to continue that way. Our first social outreach is scheduled actually tomorrow at the Lions Club, and Marcia and John will be making a presentation there to the fine folks at the Lions Club. We have open house dates set to disseminate information, to talk to the Mill Creek voters on what we've done, why the recommendations were made, and what it means to the taxpayers. They are, take note, September 8th at the Bell Valley Hose Company. All these open houses start at 7 o'clock. So the first one will be September 8th at Bell Valley Hose Company. The second one will be September 22nd right here in this room, the Mill Creek Municipal Building. The third one will be October 6th, held at E3C, the Erie County Community College, the former Villa Maria Academy building on West 8th. And the fourth is tentatively scheduled, we still need confirmation on that, is October 27th, the First Alliance Church on Zimmerly. Once again, all of these start at 7 p.m. We have a committee working on a 30-second commercial spot that will air as needed on social media and on television. It's still a work in progress. We hope to have that up and running shortly after Labor Day. We still have lit pieces that we have from the primary that we'll use at these open houses and at the social outreach. And John DePlacido will be doing the social media spot at the end of the month. And Bill Schaaf and RJ Zona will be working with our friend Philip Ward on the Blue Couch at the end of the month. Those dates will be set very soon. And that is all. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Art. We'll move right along here. Next item for business, new business. Just the status on the government report, the final report. We did file it, filed by the commission, John, and Cheryl went down to the Erie County Election Office on Thursday, July 24th, and took care of our filing. That was just an update, a status update. And then we did, as I mentioned earlier, we did have the resignation of our recording secretary. And I think we need, because we did appoint her, I think we probably need a motion to accept her resignation. Does anybody want to make that motion? Motion by Bill Shaw,
I'll second.
second by Art. Any questions or comments from the commission? Before we vote on that, I just want to thank Cheryl for her time and effort she gave us. She kept us on track for the most part on this effort that we put together. I know she had some issues and some personal issues that she wanted to felt she needed to tend to. So I just want to thank Cheryl for her time that she gave us on this commission. If there's no other comments, John, can we have a vote?
Mr. Diaz? Yes.
Hold, what, before, yeah, go ahead, Toby.
This is, Toby Kordek. Is it appropriate to make a comment under other business? You were moving pretty quickly about I had a comment about the report, status of the report.
Okay, yeah, if you want to talk about that, I mean, no, wait, well, let us get through this vote, Toby, and then we'll,
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, it's a little hard to hear.
okay. I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
Mr. Diaz? Yes. Mr. De Placido, yes. Mr. Alcieri?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Whitehead?
Yes,
Mr. Zimmer?
thank you. Okay, under other business, Mr. Kordek, if you want to address that, the status of the report under other business, I'm going to try to turn my phone up as loud as I can and put you by the microphone, so
It's on.
go ahead.
Just wanted to make a comment that the report has been on the township website, and it would be appropriate, I think, for alternate Kim Huff to state the specific time that she had that posted. I do believe it was either the same day that the report was made public by it being certified by the election board and received, or it could have been the day after. So if she could comment to help us out on that, I think that would be helpful.
He was just asking if you knew what time and date you put the report on our website, give or take?
It was put up on the website the day they certified it.
It was put up on, okay, it was put up on the date that it was certified on the 24th. Okay, all right, thanks, Kim. Thanks, Toby. Yeah, and I think somebody from the public said it was 9:52 a.m., so probably a little bit later than that, but that's probably a good time. So,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
thanks, Toby. Okay, we'll move on then. Oh, I'm sorry, any other bit? Here, John.
Yeah, one thing, as long as we're on that subject. I also delivered a copy of the report to the lobby here, to Mill Creek Township. In the lobby, it's sitting out there, and also to the Blasco Library, the reference department. So there's a copy down there if anybody chooses to look at it that way.
Thanks, John. Thanks for clearing that up. We will move on. Other business, as I said, could we have I want to entertain, get a motion here to advertise and hold the public hearing on the 25th. If somebody would just make a motion to authorize us to advertise that as a public hearing, I would appreciate it. Moved by RJ.
Second.
Second by Jim. Any questions or comments? This is just a formality I think we should probably take care of.
Slow it down.
I'm sorry, okay.
Okay, we're going to advertise
Yeah,
for a public hearing.
as part of our August 25th public meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion by RJ and a second by Jim Dedad. At 5:30, the start of our regular meeting.
So it'll read the same as the one for tonight. Yeah.
It'll be very similar to the one we had in for today's meeting.
Okay.
About the website, it was actually 3:30 PM on July 24th is when it was.
Okay, 3:30 at July 24th, okay. I think the certification might be what you're looking at, Candy, the actual certification date, because I signed it at 9:30, and I think you guys got it down there at 9:58. It was logged in. Okay, so back to the motion by RJ and a second by Jim. If we could have a vote on that, John.
Okay. Mr. Diaz?
Yes.
Mr. De Placido, yes. Mr. Alcieri?
Yes.
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Ms. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Whitehead?
Yes.
Mr. Zoni?
Motion passed. Okay, that brings us to item number 11 on the agenda, public comment. If there's anybody in the audience who would like to comment, please do so. Thank you. Hello, Dennis.
Dennis McAndrew, Milford Township citizen. I missed a few meetings and, sorry. I missed a few meetings, so I apologize. When did you appoint a new secretary? Because don't you need to have a secretary recording everything by law? Did you ever appoint one at a meeting I missed? I'm just saying, because I'm afraid, I'm just saying, because if you don't, then this would be an illegal, you would have an, if you didn't appoint one, this would be an illegal meeting. So by what meeting was he appointed publicly? Well, I thought that was Cheryl.
She's recording secretary, Dawn is our secretary. The recording secretary sometimes will take over some of the duties.
Okay, I just didn't want this to become an illegal, I just wanted to make sure, that's why I make sure your I's and T's were dotted and crossed. I just want, and then I was just reading your, is this on, watch, I won't be able to find it now, but the way it's stated, shall the council manager plan include recommendations pertaining to the optional provisions containing in the report of the Government Study Commission dated July 21st, 2025, as authorized by the Home Rule Charter and the optional plan law be adopted by the Township of Mill Creek, Erie County, PA. Is that exactly the way it's going to appear on the ballot? Exactly this way? Okay. And I know there's certain requirements that have to be there and all that. I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't going to be any changes. So if people wanted to, I mean, most people, when they vote, aren't reading as a lawyer. And I just wanted to make sure that this was the actual text. Because underneath it, it says interpretive statement, which will not appear. Correct? That will appear? Where it says interpretive statement, the vote, will that appear? Page 24 of 55. Because right underneath, in very bold text underneath, it says yes or no, and then it says interpretive statement. Will that appear?
Okay, so we have the,
Because I think some people,
on the report, to answer your question, typically we don't answer questions at this part of the meeting, but to answer your report, yes.
that's
To
good.
answer your question, yes.
Okay. Because a lot of people are going to be voting are going to be like,
Michael, you have something to add?
Can I,
I know some of it's legal
can
jargon
I,
that you require.
is this microphone on? Okay, thank you. I just want to clarify the interpretive statement or the interpretative statement that's in the final report. The county election office has the final word on what the interpretive statement will say right below the ballot question that will be addressed to voters when they go to vote on November 4.
So it may or
So
may
the
not.
interpretive statement that's in the final report is not the interpretive statement that voters will find on the ballot to help them understand and to clarify what it is they're being asked to say yes or no to relative to shall the council manager plan, including recommendations pertaining to optional provisions contained in the report of the Government Study Commission, which is this, the final report, dated July 21, 2025, as authorized by the Home Rule Charter and Optional Plans Law, be adopted by the Township of Mill Creek, Erie County. Yes or no? Erie County, Pennsylvania, yes or no? Right below that ballot question will be the interpretive statement. I can read what the interpretive,
The reason I was asking, just because you put it in bold type and then the other part wasn't, I was curious of exactly what part was actually appearing. Was it just the bold type, or was it going to be the whole text? Or was it open to interpretation?
Should I read the interpretive statement or
You
not?
don't need to regurgitate
Okay,
information
thank you.
that's printed.
Thanks, Kevin.
I'm going to write my name first because it. Good evening. How are you? I am thankful to speak here today. And again, I want to start, like I did last time, by thanking you guys for your service to our community and in some cases our country for those who are veterans. So I just wanted to start, my name. Everyone wants to know my name. It's Grant Philbeck. I'm a resident of the Highland Park neighborhood over here, West Mill Creek. So I'm pretty excited to be here to talk to you guys. So I'm going to be doing a lot of numbers, so bear with me. They're all approximates. I'm not going to bore you with the nitty-gritty details. First of all, there's 28 people in this room, in the audience, which I think a couple are commission members, so subtract a few there. That's 0.0518518519% of Mill Creek's population of about 54,000 people. So I'm kind of sad to see that not a lot of people come to these meetings, and I think you guys would agree with me on that. I want to also say some of the things about your commission also have numbers behind them as well. I disagree with what you've come out with. I don't think it's a good form for Mill Creek's future. I don't think it's a smart way of governing. I support a mayor council with districts, so there's Republican representation in Mill Creek as well, and Bell Valley. But our democracy here in Mill Creek is really working out. I think it's really strong and it's very powerful. I want to do some pretty quick numbers with you guys. So in 2019, an incumbent supervisor was unseated by double digits. 30% turnout across Erie County, so that's sad. 2021, an incumbent supervisor was unseated in a Democratic primary by a large margin. 39% of people across Erie County voted. 2023, the incumbent supervisor faced a pretty tight re-election race by someone who wasn't born here, so that's or lived here for much less than a decade, so pretty impressive that that happened as well. 2025, an incumbent supervisor is unseated in a Republican primary, and that's 24% countywide turnout. It's working, but there's not a lot of people showing up to these meetings. The reason why I'm mentioning these percentages is in 2024, when you guys put this on the ballot, 75% of Erie County turned out to vote. And they came out to vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris or whoever. That's why people vote, right? Your ballot question is going to be on a ballot in this November where probably 30% of, let's say 35, let's give or take, of Mill Creek residents are going to come out and vote. I think that's a problem. Real quick, I have some other numbers. 1986, I wasn't alive, but 59% of Erie County came out to vote in that election, in that municipal election. 1987, it was 57%. So we're going the wrong track. But enough with the numbers. I wanted to say real quick, the form of government. Wesleyville, Lawrence Park, they each have, again, give or take, 3,000 people. They have 5 borough councilmen, and they have a full-time supervisor who has a full-time assistant. We're not those tiny municipalities, guys. We are 55,000 people. We are the crown jewel of Erie County. We all love Mill Creek. That's why we're all here, all 28 of us. We love Mill Creek. I love it. But someone mentioned earlier, I'm not debating them, but unanimous. This was a unanimous thing. Unanimous is not a good thing, in my opinion. And that's why I love what RJ had to say in that discussion about Bell Valley. I think this whole plan disenfranchises it. You know what also votes unanimously? Erie City Council. And I don't want to turn this wonderful township of Mill Creek into Erie City, where they're doing resolutions to stop wars in the Middle East and making sanctuary cities instead of paving the roads and doing economic development, which is what people want from local government. This only leads to something bad. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me talk. And again, thank you for your service and what you guys do.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate you taking the time to come in.
Were those statistics Erie County or Mill Creek?
Erie County wide. Okay. But Mill Creek ad was about 5%.
Yeah.
For those concepts. You can't find them very easily.
Yeah, there's definitely not enough people voting.
You're right.
Thank you.
I guess I only have one question. Can will you answer questions or not?
Now that we are.
Yes or no?
We're not supposed to be, but.
Okay.
This is time for your public comment.
Okay, I had a bunch of comments, but I'm going to try to. Doug Prozan, 3286 Lakefront Drive. I had a lot of comments, but I'm really going to try to get it down to one question, and I've asked this now like 4 times in a row, and I still don't have an answer. If it's your opinion that a council manager, as a business manager form would be best, why do we have to change the form of government to accomplish that when the present supervisors can hire a manager? And we don't have to spend any money to do that.
As RJ said, we typically don't answer questions at this point, but I would offer this.
Oh, good, because I've asked it for a couple of months now.
If you were to do that, first of all, it would cost the township a lot of money to keep the existing form and then add a manager to it.
No, it would be far less expensive, but like by $1 million.
Well, anyway,
if you
this is why
hire a
this is why
man,
we don't answer questions. That's in our report. We talked about the money that could be saved under this form of government.
well, I would challenge that. But I still want to know the answer, why, if you can do it already without spending any money to change the form of government, why not just do it now?
It's not just the simple thing of hiring a manager. If we did that with the present system, the 3 township supervisors would have to give up all their power.
Yes, but that's not what you were hired to do. You were hired to investigate the form of government.
And we had options.
Not
options.
what kind of people are running the government.
The day-to-day operations.
See, that's what's so frustrating. You won't answer the very basic question of why you were hired in the first place.
We'll have public forums and we'll be able to do the question and answer.
But the report's all done. What good is the public forum? Because people are going to listen to what you say, okay? Because as he said, there's not enough people to get involved. It's a real problem. One of your responsibilities is to let the people know what's the difference between the present form of government and what you're advocating, and why one's better than another, or because they both have advantages.
Did you read our report?
I just got it. Did you, by the way, you opened the door. The first time I was here, I asked if you read our report from the previous commission. You said, Donna, you said yes. The last time I was here, you told me no, you hadn't read it. It was a different report. You hadn't read it. And I asked you, would you please publicly state that? And I've still have not heard that. It still gets down to, why do we have to change the form of government to accomplish what you want? It makes no sense to spend that kind of money when you don't have to.
Thank you.
Well, so you're not going to answer the question?
Well, I can't end the debate with you, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a comment?
Can he answer the question?
I'm going to respond directly and as succinctly and as simply as possible. Under the second-class township code that Mill Creek operates under, the Board of Supervisors may hire a manager. They may also fire a manager and no longer have a manager. That's up to the Board of Supervisors.
Which is what we have now.
If the optional council manager plan of government, form of government, is adopted, that institutionalizes in the fabric and framework of the council manager form of government the position of a manager. And the only way to change that is to change the optional form of government that the voters approved. That the voters would come back if they want, and they have to wait 5 years to allow the form of government to allow itself to be implemented. They could put a question on the ballot to change the form of government. But simply put, the township code, they may have a manager, they may fire a manager and no longer have a manager, repeal the ordinance. But under the optional council manager form of government, a manager is a permanent fixture in the organization of the township.
Thanks, Michael. And that is in the report. That's in the report.
Yeah, but they can fire the manager, correct? And they can hire a new manager.
It's 3 minutes.
right?
If the optional council manager plan is adopted, yeah, the
But you're
board,
not
the
answering
council can
Michael.
let the manager go, but they would have to hire a new qualified manager based on merit.
3 minutes are up, sir, please.
But
Thank you.
can't
Your
we
3
do
minutes are
that
up.
now?
Thank you.
Why?
Easy.
Why can't these supervisors hire a manager?
Ask them.
Well, then why do you
Okay,
change the form of government?
let's go. Thank you, sir. Your 3 minutes are up. Thanks for your comments.
Read the report. It's in the report.
Kim Huff, I'm an alternate. I just wanted to bring out something. One of the speakers said that they prefer a mayor-council form of government. But then at the end, it said, look at the city of Erie, because they're in such disarray. The city of Erie is a mayor-council form of government, adopted in the 1970s, and they are actually putting on their ballot in November to do a government study, to study their form of government for optional form and home rule. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for speaking. You're the only one I heard. I'm Marcia Terry, Mill Creek resident, and what I wanted to speak on was there was a comment in regard to, you know, we're not Lawrence Park, or we're not this and that, and those are small townships and so on. But 25 most populous Pennsylvania second-class townships, and these were numbers from the DCED, excuse me. So they're legitimate numbers, and the form of governments for the ones that are closest to our population have manager, five non-employee supervisors. Bucks Township, or county, Middletown, they have a manager, 5 non-employee supervisors, and we can go all the way down from 62,000 population to 23, and there's only one that has a different type, which is Ben Salem has a mayor and 5 council, and Mill Creek has 3 supervisors paid as employees. So if you look at this particular, and it's on our website, And it's also on our Mill Creek. Oh, and it's also on the back table too, but it will show you that these people, it's like, are they any better than us? Have they came up with this idea, and we have something completely different, and we are a second largest township in Pennsylvania. So, thank you very much.
This is a different part of the meeting.
Yeah, I didn't know. I did the first one. I apologize. I didn't get done. Again, I'm Candy Horn. Page 13 of 55, Second-Class Township Code, Section 607. Elected supervisor primary duties include general governance of township. I'm only going to read a couple of them. Ensure sound financial management. Secure the health and safety and welfare of township residents. Is that happening? Do we have sound financial management? And how about our people that have been complaining for 10, 15, some 30 years about the flooding in their backyards, in their basements? You know, that sounds like health and safety and welfare of the residents to me. Another question, or not a question, another comment is it's about what we pay for our solicitor. And Mr. Shaw, are you here as a solicitor or the public tonight? Okay, well, okay. Comparing Mill Creek from 2019 to 2023, we spent a total of $3,454,709. This is page 46 of 55. For Lower Paxton, for their solicitor, it was $500,495. For Middletown, for those same 4 years, it was $942,681. And for Hempfield, it was $760,348. So you look at Mill Creek, they paid almost 7 times more than Lower Paxton, maybe 3.5 times more than Middletown, and maybe 4.5 times more than Hempfield. That's just I'm just kind of rounding figures, so these are probably not factual like Mr. Philbeck's figures. And that's it, okay. I guess that was all I had to say.
Thank you.
Thanks.
While I write my name, would everybody please stop and think about the people in Clairton at the U.S. Steel Coke Works? Mary Ellen May Jock. I spent the first 19 years of my life, and then these last 20 years of my life as a Mill Creek resident. I've lived in Harrisburg, I've lived in Pittsburgh, I've lived in Sheridan, Wyoming, I've lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And here I am back in Erie, Pennsylvania. You know, it's a great place to come to raise your children and to retire. I want to thank U7 and all the alternates for the hours and hours and miles on your car and personal time that you spent working on this report. It's amazing. I read it in the car on the way to Michigan this weekend. I scanned through it. I didn't, write a whole lot of notes, but it was a very impressive report. And you all, I've read your biographies, I've talked to most of you, have amazing, impressive education and credentials. And I can't understand why political people, and I know I'm one of them, say that you had, I don't know, an axe to grind, let's just say it was said that way, that you had it all planned out ahead of time before you even went around and collected signatures and got on the ballot and got it elected. I don't understand that. I say BS. You did your work for free for all of us, for us 53,000 citizens in this township, and maybe only 2,000 of them will vote. But those 2,000 are caring about our future. Do we want, what is it called, stagnant? Do we want the status quo? Remember when someone said it would be stagnant if we didn't buy a community center? Your meetings are very informative. I watch your meetings on YouTube. I said I wasn't going to come back to this township meeting because I live in the redneck Bell Valley, the redheaded stepdaughter, along with my sister Donna here, where our little fire department, we all pay taxes, and guess what our fire department gets? Nothing from the township, and I'm sorry, divert. This is about this. I don't understand why many people do not read the website, the Facebook page, the report, and so on and so forth. This is our future. How many kids have left? My kids have left. Anybody else? I came back. I don't think my kids are coming back. Thank you for having the open house in Bell Valley too, by the way. Pardon me? Thank you. They're a good bunch of people. They're a great bunch of people. And I do donate to them too, because I like my house. I did look at the last study. I don't forget what year it was. It was 300 pages long? Sorry, I ain't gonna read that. I'd have more things to do with my time. But you guys were all elected to represent us, to try and study what's best for us, our township. I don't care what party you are, we're citizens. We are citizens, we are taxpayers. We don't need to keep the status quo. Sure, they could hire a manager tomorrow. And then what? Then somebody gets pissed off, and what do? They fire the manager, and then we don't have a manager. But if we get this kind of government, if we get this kind of a government, and the person isn't performing the job that they were probably educated to do, hint sarcasm there, they'll probably get to keep their job. Hopefully they'll like Mill Creek just as much as the rest of us, the 20 however many of us that are here, and care about this township. Is my time up? 30 seconds. Oh, okay, bye. I'll write you a letter.
Thanks for coming in.
I might come back.
What happened to the sheet? She took it? That's all right. I don't need it any, I already signed. I just want to say, in May, you were ready to close this up. You, Mr. Wojtek, May. You stood here, you sat there and said, May, let's decide where to go. That's 6 months in, May. 6 months in, May. Don't forget, I want Mill Creek Township to know the manager does not have to live here. Although somebody's going to get up there and say, we can make that part of it. Nobody, they've gone up here and talked about a manager and 5 council persons. They have not talked about the assistant managers hired, the cost of those, the cost of the benefits. I don't know if it's in this report, but I imagine there was no cons. Was there cons in the report? I think, and you know, people can say this about me. It's been rushed. It's been rushed. I think some people rushed this along. I'm sorry to have to say that. And I think it was a bit slanted, not by all, but by some. I'm sorry, and your pamphlet that went out was borderline misuse of public funds on election day. I just sit here and I just think, okay, have the study, have it be honest, talk about unanimous, talk about flooding. We got a supervisor sitting out here that sat through that flooding. She tried to correct it. It didn't happen. Why keep bringing it up? You know, come on. This township is stagnant in a way just because of there's nowhere to grow in this township. And also, Mr. D-Dad talked to Melanie Page, but did he go over financials with her or just over her personal stuff? I didn't have that, and I hope that's in this report. He only talked to a prior guy that worked here, correct? I'm pretty sure. And it's sad that Mr. Zona sat here, and this is my last comment, and said this decision is going to be made by uninformed voters. Uninformed. You talk about 28, 14, you had 14 on your commission and alternates. This is what's going to decide this. And maybe the Milford group. But I even watched it on TV. I talked to a gal on Roslindale, and I didn't know you guys ever sent a survey out. And she didn't even know about the manager being appointed could be outside of this township. And the consultants you hired, again, 6 of them were what? Managers of townships. One wasn't. That's this man right here. I mean, come on. Look at some of the stuff you did. Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Anyone else?
I'm Nancy Shea. I'm a resident of Mill Creek Township. Been here for many years. I'm really kind of dismayed that everybody's so defensive of the status quo. And I just want to talk about my experiences over the years since I've lived here in Mill Creek with the township government. Now, I moved to Mill Creek in 1980, and within a few years, I watched Mill Creek Township build a huge water tower across the street from me on a residential lot in High Street. The neighbors were appalled and formed a neighborhood coalition to get answers. But just like current happenings in Mill Creek, we had no say in this water tower debacle, and today that water tower is a reminder of the poor zoning decisions of the past. To this day, this ugly 100-foot-tall water tower looms over adjacent residential housing on High Street. So I moved. In 1986, I moved to Southwest Mill Creek, where I live today, 39 years later. When I moved here, there was vacant, undeveloped land behind my home. The developer, along with the township, was planning the subdivision Forest Glen behind the houses on Holiday Drive, where I live. A while later, when the houses were finally built behind my house, the flooding began. After numerous trips to the township building, a township engineer informed me that Forest Glen subdivision was approved with the condition of a stormwater management plan by the developer, which was drawn into the subdivision plan. But the houses went on to be built without this or any other stormwater management. Whether this was an oversight or incompetence on the part of the township, I have no idea. But I have had the expense of installing 3 drainage systems over the years to handle the increasing drainage from the households behind mine. I finally solved the problem, the water the water problem at great cost to myself, exceeding $30,000, all because the township did not enforce the contingencies in the subdivision plan they approved. I know many other areas of this township are in similar situation with unaddressed water and flooding issues, and I feel your pain, I really do. I used to own a rental property, a duplex on Westlake Road. It was a 2-unit townhouse with a tenant on either side. In 2017, dated October 11th, a couple weeks before the election, I received a registered letter. It was not a friendly letter. There were 4 political signs in the front yard of my rental. Mill Creek had just passed a new ordinance, unbeknownst to me, allowing 2 signs per residential lot. The registered letter I received stated that I had 5 days to remove 2 of the 4 signs, or I was told, face fines of up to $1,000 per day. I was dumbfounded and I was angry. I tried to reason with the 3 supervisors, one of which was on my side of the issue. I have an entire folder of correspondence, but at the end, after getting nowhere, I filed a lawsuit against the township. Mill Creek settled without going to trial, but it still cost the township around $25,000 in court costs and fees to my attorney. I imagine the township had its own fees to Attorney Shaw for this dog and pony show. I filed this lawsuit on principle. I never asked for or received any money from this, and the ironic thing is that mine was the 3rd or 4th lawsuit on the sign issue over a short period of time in Mill Creek Township. It was a steep and expensive learning curve for the township. Mill Creek would have never won these sign lawsuits because the issue had already been adjudicated in the U.S. Supreme Court. It was and still is poor judgment on the part of the township to instigate lawsuits that are unwinnable. So in my experience, my dealing with the Mill Creek Township government over the years showed its glaring weaknesses. Okay.
Somebody? Okay.
My name is Dan Benzer. I live at 529 Lindsay Court, a house that my wife Patty and I built 30 years ago in the Southland subdivision. Before that, I lived in Bell Valley. I don't know that I was ever called a redneck, but we lived there, and that's where we started our family. First off, I want to say thank you to this board. Thank you for everyone in this room, taking the time out of your life to come to a public event, speak your mind, say your piece. That is democracy. That's what we're entitled to. I can also tell you that change is the most difficult thing that human beings ever have to do. I can tell you that I know Mr. Wojtek because we served together, where I was the most recent past chairman of the Erie Waterworks Board and represented Mill Creek Township as the 2nd longest standing member of that board. I can tell you in all the years that I spent on that board, never one time did I ever have any citizen or Mill Creek supervisor ask me to try to push anything through for Mill Creek. Not once. But I can tell you that when Cleaner, Cheaper Water was created, in order to help create the opportunity for Mill Creek to sell the water system that they resold water under and sell that system to the Erie Waterworks, the fight started. And the fight started by the group that was right here. It was the committee that ran that organization. There was no good reason. There was no financial resource that made sense. Change. That was the dirty word. Challenge of making things better. Why and how? On the very last day of an elected supervisor's term, he signed the document that pushed through that change. It took the election of 2 supervisors to make that happen. It took more than 10 years to make that happen. Since that time, millions of dollars have been invested in Mill Creek for the customers that have the same duty and responsibility as every other Erie Waterworks customer, without any consideration at all for where they live. Change of government is one thing that we can all make happen because we have that right in the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And the form of government and the ability to make that change happen is very documented. How long we have to do it, the process to make it happen, and the actual way to do it. This committee's followed that. They've now made their recommendation. The recommendation that was unanimous. Why? Because it was so obvious and clear. It's our responsibility to vote our conscience when we go to the polls, and all of us will do that. I can tell you that I'm going to do everything I can to see that this recommendation goes through, because I know the one thing is for certain. Without change, you're busy dying, you're not busy being born. In 2010, I was the organizer of a company that won the Amazon Global Startup Challenge. 1,900 companies globally entered that challenge. 9 globally, 2 from North America went to the Amazon Global headquarters and presented their case. My company won. We couldn't get the resources or the ability to make that company happen in Erie County or Mill Creek Township because nobody gave a shit. Today, we all need to care a little bit more about our future. My children don't live here. I don't ever expect they'll move back. It makes my wife cry every day. The only opportunity we have to make things better is to push forward change and look at where we can make things happen. This decision is obvious. That's why it was unanimous. That's why I know I'll vote for it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Anybody else out there? If not, we will move on the agenda. Anything for the good of the order, folks? Anyone? Oh, yeah.
Is this on? Yes. For the gentleman that gave all the statistics on voting, don't leave yet. November of 2024 was a presidential election. There was a fantastic turnout. We had, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but we had a 60% in favor of having this study commission and our study performed. 60% said, yes, please have a study. 40% were not in favor of it. We hope there is a turnout in the next election, November 4th. I can't say anything more on that, but I just wanted to repeat those figures.
I'd like to add something. You know, the report's 55 pages long, and a lot of you will read a lot of it. It's hard to read it all, but as Mill Creek residents, all of us should. I wanted to point out one thing based on one of the earlier comments tonight that differentiates Mill Creek from the rest of the world. Mill Creek Township has no separation of the legislative and the executive function. Everybody else does. Other cities, other townships, other counties, states, the federal government, all of the Fortune 500 companies. Mill Creek is alone, and I know there's a lot of individuals that sometimes take the position, we're right, and the other 99% of the people are wrong, and because you live in America, you can say that. But I ask you just to take a look at the fact that everybody else is doing it different. All these other governmental entities have a separation of the executive function and the legislative function. Why is that? Ask yourself that. Thank you.
asked him